two of my favorite people, my ladies, Samara, Namia. Oh, you like that? Y'all have to stare at the camera. Today we are going to be talking about the cycle of poverty. I know that some people think that poverty has to do with just money, but it's about also the environment and the upbringing of families. People be like, oh, when I was 6 years old, I walked up the steps of my house and like
I remember specific. He has like clear memory, like third grade or like I'm like fourth.
I don't remember none of that.
Really, I remember like specific things. Like in third grade, the little boy Antonio, he died, but he lied and said I was talking when the teacher told everybody to be quiet. She sent me outside in the hallway and I was hysterically crying.
This the guy you like thought you had a crush on because he was so bad?
No, that was Dorian in second grade.
I'm like, so basically you saw him hop right into house.
But I was like,
that's all about me. I'm a queen, creating a king. So, All right, so basically, I just want to know, like, how was your childhood growing up? I know for me, I don't remember much of my childhood. It's just like small, particular events that happened, or like something that was like it like etched into my brain. But as far as like a collective understanding of my childhood, I feel like I wasn't really like present to like remember certain things there. I might have been there physically, but mentally I wasn't. So
I don't remember everything. It's kind of like the same situation. It's sporadic memories of like either very emotional times or very fun times, but it's not like a collective memory of my entire childhood as a whole. But I know it wasn't bad.
Okay.
I know I didn't have a bad childhood.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree that. I just kind of remember moments that was like drastic as well, that like really created like deep emotions in me, like where I like felt something. But other than that, I was just like coasting by. It felt like just not really taking the time to soak things in, the process to reflect. It just was you just coasting by.
But then it's like we're young.
Yeah.
So looking back on it, the time probably it seemed like it went by pretty fast. Like, as a child, your attention span and stuff is very short. Yeah, you're kind of moving like
Yeah, that's true.
Like by a parent or parents.
You think your parents had something to do with you not really remembering because y'all didn't really take the time to process, like as they were growing up and you were growing up? I don't remember my mom really asking me direct questions about the bonds that I was making. Is this a healthy relationship? Do you guys argue a lot? Like you don't really tell them the fights.
It's not really invested situations or moments.
Yeah.
Your parents, it's kind of like as long as you're good.
Yeah.
Not doing nothing you're not supposed to. Not harm's way, then I'm good.
Yeah, or doing
and
something
that makes a difference.
grown.
Yeah, that makes a difference in, I guess, probably memory impact. Like
Definitely. And I feel like we as black women and young black girls are so conflicted as children too, because on one end we're taught to be the responsible ones and to make sure everything is good, unlike boys who are kind of like let free to do whatever they want to do. And then on the other hand, we're also told like don't be too grown. So it's like we are low-key conflicted during that time of like adolescence, because I feel like we get the pressure double time because they let boys do pretty much whatever.
And it's even what we see, like we see our moms like doing like everything. Even single moms, you see them cleaning, cooking. Like my mom did everything, so, and she just passed that on to me, and my brother didn't have to do nothing. He don't even, still to this day, just started washing his like own clothes, and he's what, like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Open.
Come here. Come make an appearance real quick. This is Aubrey Nicole. So beautiful. Who's your favorite person other than your mom? First of all, stop gassing Miss JoJo Siwa girl. You know, speaking on the whole subject of like how the balance of like being grown and not being grown, it's like, what do you think really influenced you to like not be out here just doing anything, not being, you know, living that thought life? What exactly influenced you? I feel like as a kid, like when you were young, when stuff was first starting to pop up, where you was first starting to see people doing stuff where you like, ooh, like I probably shouldn't be doing that, but they doing it.
I just feel like I kind of was just blessed that that I was placed in a situation of my dad putting us into sports, and then from there they opened up doors. But I feel like before that didn't happen, I didn't get that led me to get into EA into but if that never happened, I just would have been out here.
I think it's a combination of Episcopal and just
shout out to EA though.
not having, because the reason why I say that is because around the time where I would have start being interested in boys, or if I went to like Upper Darby High School, or Overbrook High School or something like that, it was so much going on as far as schoolwork, sports. We had the hour plus drive back home. Had to get up in the morning. There was really no time, and then being as though it was a small group of black kids at Episcopal. And the black boys, y'all wasn't too cute.
Y'all wasn't on that. It was
and the white boys who really wasn't trying to bag us, so it wasn't really much to go off of. But then on top of that, when it was when I did start kind of becoming interested in stuff like that, I just knew it was wrong. It definitely being brought up in church played a factor, because there were situations where I knew I wasn't supposed to watch something on a computer, and then my computer caught a virus. I'm like, this definitely from that website. I'm crying in church and praying. How does this
happen to me?
My mom don't find out I'm watching these videos. But I think it was a combination of just having that upbringing, religiously knowing what was wrong, and then really not having the time. And then once I entered that world of being interested in boys and stuff, I really didn't have any type of guidance. Yeah. I just was going with the flow of, if I was okay with it, then it was okay to happen.
Absolutely.
As long as it was nothing extreme.
Got you. And that's it's weird because I didn't have the religious background. Nobody in my family was enforcing the ideas of right and wrong in my head.
Right.
Yeah, it was just
major.
Seeing wrong and feeling like something was wrong is what made me be I don't want to do. For real. My mom was a good mom in regards to making sure that we were not in any type of environments that were unsafe, that were violent or anything like that. But as far as micromanaging where my attention is going, that didn't happen. And so I could have easily, it was easy for me to be out in these streets, for me and T to go say we going here, and to really be going to a boy's house. It was easy because the trust was there, and the freedom to finesse was there. But we just didn't have it in our spirit to finesse, because first of all, our parents find out everything. That's just
everything.
You was a finesse.
I'm trying to tell you, my childhood, it was completely different from what y'all say. Completely.
It was
I made a 360. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
I was finesse.
What you saying? My friends, we was doing that. We was doing that young. These was before my EA days, before high school. Not even out there just having sex, but still we were just out there being where we shouldn't be. Just being around boys young, and that was the lack of supervision on her parents' part. So I would finesse my parents.
I'm going here.
They think I'm good.
Facts.
They'll even talk to their parents, but her parents, they'll let us go outside. We'll come in not late at night, but we'll be outside all day. We'll be doing just walking around in these little hoods. We'll take us somewhere.
But the only time I think my mom reinforced you can't do this, you can't do that, or tapped into that side is when she had a perception of my company, certain cousins I couldn't hang out with. So it's you can't go over there, or when I'm over there, she's questioning me, or calling where you was at yesterday, where y'all go to. But other than that, if she had no question of the person, there was no question of what I was doing.
And she might not even know the person to the full extent, because you could be around a sibling, and your sibling is out here doing wild stuff, or you could be around your friends, a pastor's daughter who is the finesser, who can get you and her or him to another person's house where it's freedom. So it's kids, especially black kids, are very cunning.
I was about to say, that's another flip side to it. Sometimes the parents, because my parents, they were always on me, they were strict. So you could be a strict parent, but sometimes the kid is even in them to just be sneaky.
It's deeper than just making sure
it gotta be balanced.
Talking to your kid and knowing where they at, because you gotta talk about what's going on with when there's somewhere that you're not aware, from school to a friend's house, like, oh, how was the experience? Like,
and I feel like parents just bash the kids, like, it's just, don't go over there, but why don't you explain why, or like, you know what I mean, go to the deeper extent, so the kid can really understand where you're coming from, like, that's. And I definitely see that with like working with the kids I'm working with. That's all. You just gotta like the approach. You know what I mean? And parents a lot of times is just, no, you're not going over there. You can't do this because
and it leaves the kid curious.
Yes,
more than likely to rebel because you just telling me what
that was me. That was me.
And not really telling me. And more than likely it's like, oh, you're just saying it because you're the parent.
Yeah, and do as I say, not as I do. Like that mentality is like really etched into our communities because it's like, well, why can't I do that? And then you asking questions, and it's like, stop asking questions. You being too grown. I want to know the answer.
They'll be like, you're being disrespectful. Why are you talking back? Like, I really like.
I'm curious. I want to know like, what is it about this person that you don't like? Parents like shut their kids down. Like, don't inquire. Like we was just talking about before the camera came on. Like. And we were like the inquisitive type. Why? What happened? Why you going? And parents be like, stop asking so many questions. Like if you in the car, they like get in the car, you dressed up, you like, where we going? Unless it's a surprise.
There's no reason why.
There's no reason why you can't say, oh, we're going to the 7-Eleven. Now, if the kid is repetitively saying like, where we're going, are we there, are we there? Then you can be like, all right, shut up. But like, inform your kids, because if you don't inform them about stuff in regards to bonds, relationships, they're going to learn from their social environment. Exactly. Whoever they encounter, whether it be a good person, a bad person, a good adult, a bad adult. Because you can think your best friend is A1 and your kids go over there all the time because she got kids. And somebody in her house could be exposing your child to something that's unsafe. You have to discuss. You have to talk to your kids, and that's the way to get, their self-esteem built up.
Like kids are not like that nowadays. They easily persuaded by friends. Who they're around, their friends.
And a lot of the times, the parents that are raising us at those young ages are growing up as we're growing up. So
they don't really have real insight themselves to begin with.
And then they send the kids into the schooling at early age, like at 5 years old. And from there, what you're doing at home is emulated into the schooling system, because it's like, if you're not teaching your kids how to make positive attachments and bonds and things like that,
my job.
Then you go to school and you see they messed up friendships. They don't know what friendship is. They don't know who loves them, who doesn't love them.
They don't know how to cope with nothing. Like, you tell them no, something don't go their way.
It's World War III.
And it starts at home. It really
absolutely connecting the whole self-esteem thing. It's like, do y'all feel like money play a role in like self-esteem? Because I know, like, I personally feel like the fact that you're broke and the fact that you don't have all the answers as far as how I'm going to make stuff happen that I want to happen has an impact on how you feel as a person, how you feel as a parent.
So, I agree, but I don't think it's money. Like, money is a part of it, but I think it's the deeper thing is like happiness. Like, and with people with money, like they say money don't bring you happiness, but that would like alleviate some situations that you're going through.
It would make it less stressful.
Yeah, less stressful.
It won't necessarily determine self-esteem, but it impacts the stress that it may put on situations that has an effect on your happiness
and your behaviors and everything.
Has an effect on your mood and how you're looking at stuff. So it's like a domino.
It all play a part of each other.
Some people feel like they gotta have money to wear certain clothes to look good or have this high self-esteem, but like you said, for me specifically, it's the stress that leads to that. And it's that leads to the how perceive certain situations and stress and stuff.
And it's the programming too, because we get programmed to the idea that the only way for you to be validated by society is by looking a certain type of way. And we didn't experience it. That's the vibe. You go to school, your hair not right, you put a hair wrap on, you wear that joint in a crusty ponytail that day. We've had many a stiff days because it's like, the value don't come from that. You go to school and you see your friends and y'all just vibing out. They not looking at you like your ponytail lopsided, or you don't have on the new Uggs, you have on the Airwalks. Like,
I was about to say, I think that it's different too, because we did go to a private school that required us to have uniform. Everybody wore the same thing. We had the same skirt. I mean, it was different colors, but basically the same kind of style versus public school that doesn't have a dress code. You have free will to come in
and you got the latest sneakers,
and I feel like
have the latest things on, so it depends on.
And even communities, like, not community, but like even like races or whatever, like, I feel like when we went to EA, white people, or even just white people in general, a lot of them don't worry about that. That's why a lot of them be rich and having, because they saving their money, they not worried about getting this Gucci, but with black people, I feel like that's highly, like, just, that's highly,
that's the way we like, it's like we thrive off of that.
Yes.
And society really set us up like that.
That's why I'm like, they make that important to us. They like, yeah, y'all worry about this clothes. Don't worry about
investing.
Though. Don't worry about
financial literacy.
Finish in college. Don't worry about that. Spend all your money, like, spend it on drugs, clothes, and that's how they set it up.
Yep. So what do you feel like the best part about living in the hood is? Personally, for me, is the food supply. I know it's bad because it's not good for you, but like, I love coming home, because I now live in Maryland, for those who don't know. I love coming home to Chester and like going to every single hood store that I could possibly go to. Shout out to my favorite place in the world, Big Vars. I will be there hopefully sometime today before I leave the city. And just like random hood, like hole in the wall spots that food be popping, food be dirt cheap, grease be like pizza be just greasy,
grease be dirty,
grease be sitting in the container for 6 months, but that food be bomb though. Shout out to y'all.
Oh, they do be having good food though. I swear they be having good food, especially the one in West Philly. In West Philly, it is scary, but the food is so, and they close at 2 o'clock in the morning, so good. Nothing like a $3 cheesesteak from the Poppy store.
Right. Oh,
I digress. That's the best part about the hood, I promise you. Unless y'all have something better. If you could top that, let me know.
I don't think it's nothing else besides that. I mean, it's still like it's just a sense of like, dang, this is where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like, it's not the best situation to live in, but it's a sense of like a homey feeling, like, dang, this is where I grew up.
I feel like the sense of self, like, you know, pride in you. Like, if I hear somebody talking bad about Chester, I don't care how bad Chester gets, I'm gonna be like, yo, like, you ever been there?
We make it out of these places.
Exactly.
Man.
Like,
we all going through the struggle together.
So do you feel like, you know, because you went to the esteemed Episcopal Academy, that you are a more well-rounded person, more educated? Because I definitely, like, when I was there, it was like, I didn't realize how special it was to be there. It was just like, I'm here. Like, this is different.
Going through it.
And you low-key liked it. You liked being the different one of the family. But it was definitely stress, and people didn't really understand. Like, I would come home and they would be like, you know, stop talking white. Like, go back up there with those people. And it's like, that's like mental stress. And then I have a 6-page paper to write.
1,000 things to do for homework that night that was taking 4 hours.
Exactly.
Then you had to do sports
after you get home at 8 o'clock. Mind you, like, after you get home at 8 o'clock, you got 4 hours of homework.
The history book within itself.
We really was sleep deprived.
But it built a sense of responsibility that public schools wasn't doing. I was like,
impossible.
You feel so empowered. You feel like you're doing so much. You feel like you're so smart because it's so easy.
Yes.
So that's what slapped you in the face.
I was flying
like, you like, in order to be smart, I really gotta like do stuff. Like, I gotta read. Like, I gotta study. I gotta make sure I comprehend.
And there was no slacking. Like, it was like,
and it was
if you decided.
The hood in Samara got her to finesse a lot of situations in Episcopal. When I tell you, let me give y'all like a little story. Samara had a history paper due. Mind you, it's in sections. Note cards, rough draft, final draft. The whole class submitted their note cards in February.
Don't tell me.
For example, Samara submitted her note cards end of March.
It was like weeks later.
The whole class submitted their rough draft,
and they be
in
like,
February.
You turning a day late. That's a great.
Samara submitted her rough draft in April. The whole class submitted their final draft in February. Samara submitted hers right before the date of the last day of class. I don't know what she did with that teacher, but she would be like, she would be in class every day like, yeah, Mr. Hess, Mr. Hess, I love you too. Mr. Hess would be like, Samara, I'm working with you. Building those bonds though, because he really just messed with you. Like, he was just a good teacher who really understood.
And it was really teachers that really cared about you, and that's all it takes is one person that really see the light in you and they really care.
Like Mr. Teacher, Mr. Siegel.
Yes, they really loved you.
But I think the biggest thing, the biggest thing I took from it, like, that I didn't realize in that moment, was the diversity aspect of it.
Absolutely.
Like, being so, like, having to be really open, because it's smacked, like, you were smacked into a million white people.
That was so hard.
And
it was hard initially.
Like,
and you gotta
adjust and be okay with it.
You gotta understand the conversations. They told me I was mute my freshman year because I really was like in a culture shock. I didn't know this stuff as I was going through it.
But it's shocking.
As psych majors,
you come in like
we learned all of this.
even my public school was all black people. You move to here, it's like you're now, like you're not a part of something, like you're like the outcast. It's
Yeah,
like,
you had to learn to be okay with it because you had to face it every day. It wasn't like something that you could face for a moment and be like, ooh, that was awkward. It was like you had to talk to these people, be okay with that type of conversation. There's a lot of stereotypes that would come just flying out their mouth without really them recognizing, and it was like, hold up, but I gotta see you tomorrow. I can't take offense and snap out and never. All of y'all are thinking the same at this point.
Yeah.
So it's either inform and be okay with it, or come to school and be miserable.
But that's education because we're learning from them, they're learning from us, and now you're exposed to people. So when you go out and you see somebody that says a slang word that you may not have encountered ever in your life, would have never heard that word. So when I'm going back to the hood and you saying something to your cousin and your cousin like, what, you're white.
Yeah. One of my nicknames, my cousin called me White Girl Samara. Literally.
Shame on you black people for always doing that, making you somebody who's educated, somebody who can speak and articulate feel like they.
But I'm guilty too because I had like there were certain black kids that grew up like from pre-K or kindergarten that went through elementary school at Episcopal because I came in 6th grade. Okay. So they were way more adjusted or like that was the only thing they were exposed to. So they fit the demeanor of the white kids, and I would think Oreo. There's
a difference between a person who speaks like that consistently, and it's like clearly you've been around these type of people. You formulated this language. But you start that
at pre-K, you're not going to be able to. Sometimes you can't even adapt. Like you can't even. Or I know I'm black and I talk this way when I come here. Is a little like what I mean.
Yeah, if it's becoming a habit.
It became a habit. Yeah.
But it was easy for like us, and I feel like a couple of other people too, to like still be able to be ourselves, but be able to formulate the words, formulate words so that people outside of your circle can understand.
And that's be able to adjust to the real world. EA really set you up. Like the real world is white people. We have to interact with white people, our jobs, whatever it is.
But not only white people, just even I think the diversity aspect of Episcopal with taking the trips to either they had the trip to China.
I went to Haiti.
Then I was in Bollywood.
So when I tell you Samara, she either thought she was Indian or Spanish because she was Spanish sick. So she's like giving speeches, and she coming out. I'm like, you're not Spanish. Okay.
They don't even have the money. The schools, they don't have the money. So EA was rich white. We working with like rich white people.
Tuition $30K a year.
Sponsoring us, older folks paying for us, giving us. You remember the scholarship,
luncheon. Yep.
Like they were paying for us to go to that school.
Yeah, giving us the opportunity to be exposed to things.
They have them opportunities and that money.
To think like I'm going on a service trip to like go build homes, to go do this in another country. I would have never thought to do that. I wouldn't be into photography as I am right now because I always like cameras. Yeah, I always like cameras, but I never had the resources to like nurture that.
I feel like I would have touched on to that passion, but I kept losing my.
But that's why don't worry because she's gonna get back into this stuff. This is her first step into breaking the silence and breaking the cycles. Breaking the cycle of oppression.
That's so ugly.
This question right here. Have you or will you ever or have you considered dating a drug dealer? Why or why not? Silence. Yeah, let me start because mine is simple. I would say I've dated a drug dealer, but it wasn't like a kingpin type situation. It was like some little small, Mary Jane, some little small transactions like that. But I've seen it's so many options of drug dealers that it's kind of like inevitable to like come from where we come from and not encounter a person that you would be interested in, that you would probably pursue, who has dipped and dabbed into the drug game. Now you might meet them at a point where they didn't, but like they could have did it when it was 13, 14, 12. Yeah. They could have did it when it was 17, 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause you been trying to act like I don't do drugs. Like
I don't.
No, obviously you don't do drugs.
I've dated people or person or two or men, but that have done transactions. But I don't consider it drug dealing because the reason why
keep this point
the reason why I'm saying this is because you can have an individual that knows how to do the basics of a car, but they're not considered a mechanic. They just have knowledge on how to do something. I feel like a drug dealer is.
But have they tuned the car up? Have they changed the tire? You have mechanical experience.
But I don't think a person that has sold a bag or two or three for maybe a week or two or like only making $100 a day is really a drug dealer.
Okay,
I think they're just tapping into the game and knowing like how to do the basics, but I don't think that's considered a full drug dealer.
We're gonna open this up for discussion in the comments, guys. I feel you to a certain degree because
that's like saying, because I know how to change a tire, I'm a mechanic. That's not true.
You're right.
Do something and that.
I'm gonna give you that good analogy. I
don't think it's a drug. I don't think
if you just do like you just like.
But do you think small?
But do you think like the like if you trap like for a month?
The consistency of it.
Like if you did it for a month, would that change?
I would be touching like
every day of the week your title. Yeah.
But it's the consistency if you're making a living, like if you don't got no other job and that's your only source of income, if you're known for that, like it depends on the like how much. I'm
gonna give you that because when you said this is your source of income,
like you
that's making it a profession.
Like you're a drug dealer.
This is deep. Oh my gosh, but so. No, I understand what you were saying, but I feel like the drug dealers that I know are drug dealing because that's their only resort for money at this point in time, and it's like quick money. They need to survive. Like a job, they was working a job, they was like working, but it's like working for what, like $8 an hour when you could be making this much easily by like it's so easy of just walking. Here you go. They just gave you $50, like off of, like, you know what I mean. That's easier than putting that work in. But I feel like a lot of the drug dealers that I know, again, that they drug deal to like or make enough money to like get themselves ahead. You know what I mean? Then they could like clean their money up, whatever, invest. You know what I mean? Like get another job. But it's like a quick start, and I feel like that's because they were set behind just being conditioned of living in the hood. You've been in jail. You haven't finished school. What job are you gonna get that's gonna like, you know what I mean? Like you have to eat every day, and they gotta pay for their food every day. Like, you know what I mean? You have to, and then who wants to like sit here? They really feel like I feel they pain, they lose hope. I'm not about to sit here and work at Family Dollar stocking the shelves for hours when I could easily like trap this for a day, get $500 easily.
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to ask questions.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I know you're in. Well, a lot of people, because some people have like that's a clear understanding of people's situation, like and a genuine understanding of people's circumstances. So it's like you have people out here like, no, I don't care why you doing it. What's the reason? I'm not fooling with you.
Right.
So that does that make you more susceptible? Yeah, to date in one since you have a genuine understanding as to why people may do it.
And that's what I feel like it depends. It really depends on a person, because I feel like some trapping is not, and that's why this is the flip side of it. Like selling drugs is not. I don't believe that is a full-time thing. Like either you're gonna end up in jail or you're gonna be dead. I don't feel like you can do that your whole life. I know somebody that really like put their kids like they never had a job, put their kids through everything. Like I'm not gonna say who, but like, so I understand both sides, but then I understand like you as a person, as a woman, and me dating, I would want security. You know what I mean? I can't depend on you trapping. One day you're up, one week you're up, then the next. What if you're not like bringing? And I don't feel like it's a full-time thing. So I definitely understand it.
Look at it from the perspective of like Power, the show Power. I don't know if you've seen Power. You seen Power?
I don't watch that.
Neither
I watched a little bit of Power. Yeah,
a little bit.
These
unenlightened individuals. I don't know why I chose these people to be in this interview. If you haven't seen Power, I really think it's a good way to understand how the mindset of some is, because Tasha, the wife of a big known drug dealer, a Ghost, they call him Ghost, she basically was for the life. Like she was like, we about to be the best, smartest kingpins in the drug game. That was her initial stance. She was, he was trying to get out. He was trying to, now that we've made this security, now that we've got our children through everything and we can be good, I want to just be legit now. And she kind of was like, no, like I don't really want, like, so you mean to tell me you're going to give up our lifestyle? We're going to have to adapt. We might have to cut back. We might have to do, and then, it backfired on them, because when he did like try to get out, he couldn't get out, and it's like it was because
And that's like when you just wade that deep into it and making that much. That's like he was like kingpin, like he was like top dealer. And when you that deep into it, sometimes you can't.
But some women love that. That's what I'm trying. Like I'm trying to get to the point. She lived off of that because
and they
had established a lifestyle that she was accustomed to, a respect, a street cred that she felt like I'm the queen of this operation.
Like also, it never left.
We're not gonna start about how I was already with the
bribing me for like a month. I feel like.
And technically, this does not make up for. She still owes me.
It's not that bad.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yes,
you owe me.
No, I'm still mad at you from last night.
All right, we've talked about this, basically like our interest in mental health in general, like being around people and seeing people with addictions and like seeing, you know, and having the knowledge to like want to do right by the youth, because you could be a product of seeing the way that your family members have raised kids and be like, shut up, but you choose to like care for kids in a way that's like. That's not. It's because you came from where you came from.
Because there was a lack of something going on or certain things. So that answered my question.
Yeah, we go through like growing up in Philly. We go through a lot. We go through like verbal abuse, physical abuse, like
a lot of times from parents, and they don't even have the knowledge. Like they don't even have the understanding that it's abuse.
Exactly.
There are situations I have to remind people that like. You're verbally abusing and you're emotionally abusing this person.
I seen like this was just so sad. She like gripping a 2-year-old girl, screaming at her like she old, like older, like and she's 2 years, and you could tell by the child is forming her. The child was like real irritable, was scream like hollering when her mom pulled her, like her like it was like horrible, like and people she like, what is y'all looking at? Why is y'all like she really snapping on everybody? But mom, she like gripping. Like, and she's little. I'm like, she's I'm like, is you about to kick her? Like, is you going to like
gonna grow up
thinking that is love? This is something minuscule. But I used to sing in the shower like a lot, and my mom used to always be like, shut up, shut up, shut up. And it's like I probably would be Beyonce or Kelly Rowland if I wasn't. Sorry, mom.
All do that non-stop sing like,
and it's like even the idea of if you're saying something that they don't want to hear, or if you're saying be quiet, shut up, it's like you're teaching your child to not have a voice. You're teaching your child to not be able to express themselves, because if somebody when they get in a relationship when they're older, it's like shut up. They shut up because they feel like I'm not supposed to speak up and say that hurt me.
I said that yesterday when we were saying that comment. Like I just feel like I grew up with no voice. Like I was just coasting, like going with the flow. Like
it's very, very hard to break, because even though we're aware of this stuff, like we're sitting here,
we're older.
So we know to step back and look at situations, but when you're exposed to it, it's the thing that you're taught and you're around that becomes a habit and kind of embedded in you. It's hard to break, because even now, like I'm 25 years old, I could see my mom saying something that she's not supposed to, like my little sister, like, Joy's so dumb. And it's like, you really shouldn't say that. But then in an argument, I'm like, you acting dumb. I don't got time. So it's like,
we still trying to learn.
It is.
We still trying to go through it and learn.
What would you say to 13-year-old you if you could talk to her right now?
13-year-old me? It has to be 13.
If you want to go back a little earlier, you can. But like I say 13 is because when you hit teenageness, I feel like that's when puberty like smacks you without warning.
The biggest thing for me, it would just be like it's hard though, because it's like have your own voice, but I just feel like you have to, each person like find that at a different point in their life. But if I was 13 and somebody like was just explaining to me like you could like be in control of your own decisions, like, you know what I mean, you could say no to people, like, you know what I mean, little different things like that. I feel like things would have went differently.
I don't
just stepping up for myself. Like I don't know.
That makes sense.
I don't think it was much going on around that age, but from the thing, just talking and letting people know what they need to know. Important things that are very serious, and not being afraid to, I guess,
like disclose like important
like to say that this is going on right now, or this is happening, or this
like finding that one person
that shouldn't have happened, and then for the long like you said, it's cool to take things slow and be in control of all your situations. So
it's just a deeper thing of like just finding that one person. You can find one person that you really like. And when I tell y'all, I never had that person, like even in my family, like I never told nobody about, like I didn't feel comfortable and we didn't form them bonds. Even with my mom, like my dad, even it could be a parent you don't feel comfortable talking to, but you should find that if it's
one
an aunt, even a counselor, it don't even have to be somebody that you feel comfortable sharing your information, and they not want to bash you for it, make you feel no type of way. They just really want to be them open ears, and they could give you advice. And I just never had that person. And for me, if I had somebody doing that, like.
But if you don't have a person, they do have people, which is why psychologists and therapy should not be viewed as a bad thing, because this is an objective person who can look at you and say, these are some of the reasons why, from your childhood, why you act the way you act now, or why you have developed the way you developed.
I think sometimes when we're that young, because we don't have a clear understanding of life and what like outlets, we're taught to push everything down, and then it resurfaces.
It comes out in different ways.
In different ways when you get into a relationship, when you decide to be a mom, or you know,
a kid, different behaviors. You being aggressive. Why you feeling this? Why you holding all this anger? Why you a kid?
Or when you get to the breaking point, it's like whoever was involved in situations is getting a backlash of all of that
stuff that really have nothing to do with your situation right now.
And that's because you didn't deal with that at that time with the correct person, so you just held it in, and then it comes out to the wrong people. You sitting here mad at somebody. That's my mom. She just be mad. Things she going through, but then lash that out on us. Like, you know what I mean? You can't. You gotta be able to not, like, and even I can find myself doing that sometimes, but you gotta really try not to do that.
You have to, but then first you have to be aware.
I'll scream at Aubrey or something, then I'm like, damn, like, and I'll even correct myself, like, I'm sorry, Oz, I ain't mean to scream at you, but I'm just right now. I even tell right now I'm just a little, like, you know what I mean. I want like
stressed out.
Yeah, a little stressed. I want to go deep into it, but you know what I mean. Like we make mistakes too, because I do that sometimes. Like, I really try to think about it and process it though. Then next time I'll be like,
I'm gonna handle that better.
I mean, I even tell my mom, I'll call you later because right now I'm just not in the mood. Like I'm not. I might take this up. You know what I mean?
And as an adult, you have that luxury. As a kid, it's like whatever your parents tell you, whether it's right or wrong. If your parents say, I don't like this person, so you're not allowed to hang with this person. It's like, you can't be like, well, this person's a good person as a 13-year-old. You have to be like, okay, all right, now I'm a sneak. Because you don't even know this person, or you don't even know the situation, or you don't want me to do music. You want me to just focus on basketball. I'm gonna sneak and do music. I'm gonna do that because and that's the problem that a lot of black kids have. They out here
and that's where you learn
outlets from other shit.
That's like you learn and you picking up on you're not being taught things. You just picking up on things in the environment. Like
I'm telling you, for me, I would probably say to my 13-year-old self, I would probably like, do not fall victim to letting your something that you feel is right go, because I feel like I would probably be a virgin right now if I stuck with how I was originally thinking back then, like, but I had nobody to nurture and influence those type of ideas. So it's like at like 16 when I was like, I'm like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal to all these people. Why is it a big deal to me? Like, what is making me feel like it's a big deal? And really, it's nothing wrong with it in the way that I am.
Somebody should have been telling like, nah, it's okay.
No, you're good.
Like,
you're different. It's a difference. Like, or it's okay to like not see things how everybody else see them, or to not somebody that goes deeper into stuff. Because a lot of us are like taught to like only stay on the surface, and it's like it's stuff deeper than the surface. Nobody just don't want to talk about it.
And I feel like that comes from a protective factor, like way back in the days, like they couldn't, like you was talking about with slavery and all that, they couldn't have the freedom to speak up, think on their own, to speak up. So that would just pass down through all the generations. Like, literally, it sticks throughout families, family generations.
Generational curses, man, that we trying to break by being enlightened psychologists. Like, if we didn't study this stuff, we too would not have the understanding of human behavior, because it boils down to like the first 5 years of your life, basically. Yes. Like, whatever attachments you build, whatever character you build, the first 5 years, trust, understanding of life, your gentleness. If you're taught to be hard, you're going to be hard. Like, nobody was hugging me, telling me like, oh my God, like, I honor you. Like, nobody was doing, so I don't know how to do that. Even though I like that stuff like that, it's like, I had to train myself how to be affectionate.
Because we don't be knowing why we be feeling like this. You know, people don't be knowing why they be angry for real. They don't be paying no mind, taking the time to think about it.
It's really in your unconscious.
Yes, that's what I think.
It. It really be stuff there mentally. It really be stuff there, but you know, we have our unconscious and we have our conscious, you know, realm and stuff like that, and we sometimes are so in tune with reality. Yeah. We don't even take the time to tap into that,
to the unconscious part,
unconscious, to see what's really sitting there and stirring, because it's stuff from me, like I said, years ago, or even recent trauma and stuff like that. Like, I want to think about it. If I don't got nothing to do with it now, it's done.
Going back to the kids' perspective, they like block these things. Sometimes it's like it's so much for them to process these emotions. They can't talk about it. They just
or really even understand it.
They really just
nobody who's explaining to them. You're feeling these ways because of this.
Like, talk, like
when my uncle got shot when I was 5, nobody came to me and said like, "How are you processing this?"
Yeah, like
it was just like the standard norm. Everybody cries, they hug, we laugh, we talk, we move on, and it's like, but who sat the kids down and said, "We know that was your uncle, that was your favorite uncle. He was shot, he was killed. We don't know how it happened. We're sorry. If you need a hug,
just affection,
come over." We doesn't done none of that. It's just like it happens. You feel the emotions, you move on, and that's just how it goes. And then everybody's walking around lost. Like, I don't know if y'all feel like y'all have found yourselves, but like a lot of our elders, they are lost.
And they're still lost.
Yes.
And this is 40,
they all exactly.
This is dying lost. This is dying lost.
And they're probably not gonna find themselves by the time.
And that's why I feel like it was worse back then. Like now we have so much that's bringing, like our generation, like we having things that's putting in front of us where we can learn more. We're going to college. Like kids now, more kids are going to college. Like,
our parents didn't go to college.
Yeah, like they don't, and they stopped. They like learning anything about it. They just was going through
and being educated on mental health and the problems and stuff. Because the very first time I was even exposed to what depression really was when I was being diagnosed with it. When they said it to my mom and stuff, and it was like, oh, and I knew something was going on, but I was ashamed of it. Like the first thing I did was say sorry to my mom. Like that was like my first sentence, and it's like there is nobody at, you know, well now, like you said, it's more resources and like more education out there. But at the time growing up, it's like there was nobody saying you okay, like you gonna be okay, or if this is okay. It's a lot of people going through this, or this is a common thing. Like it's a common thing. It's like, okay, I'm really not in tune with myself right now. Like something is going on and it shouldn't be. So this is a bad thing. So if it's like, you know, and I knew that before they said it was depression, but even with it being exposed, it's like I'd rather my mom not know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd rather not be out there. I don't even want to deal with it.
And so it's a lot of people operating with a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah, oh, that's prevalent.
And it's just silent. It's just quiet because
you just deal with it.
Like
anxiety.
Anxiety.
They just anxiety too, yeah.
Even the stigma, like
at my job I work with autistic boys. Some of them have different problems, but they're like 12, maybe 14 and under. Half of the parents don't come.
Yep.
They done signed over their rights. And then
oh my gosh.
You have plans, like intervention plans where you de-escalation plans, but then you have the medication aspect that's like, oh, you really can't implement these plans if they're not taking any medication, when really okay, they may need it, but how are you seeing how effective these interventions are
first
if you're not
exactly?
You know what I'm saying? If the medicine is involved.
Exactly. Sorry to cut you off, but a major point too is that the interventions, I feel like they are the ones that take more work that people are not willing to
do.
Because my job, I'm trying to tell you, breaking down these behaviors, I was home since September. I really wanted to quit. It's really hard.
You gotta have the patience
when these kids are deeply, but now where he's at, and just to see how far he got is really a blessing. And it might be the medication too, I don't know, but I really give it to me, like helping to change his behaviors, to teach him different skills of coping. They learned never taught.
He hasn't learned that.
I'm trying to tell you, like this kid, he's been through a lot to be 8 years old. Don't even know how to write letters or nothing. I'm like, how did you even get to the 3rd grade? Like y'all just literally pass him along.
No child. Wrapping up, do you ladies feel that you have found yourself, or are you getting closer to finding yourself? Have you like I just feel like, because that's the most important thing on this journey that we're going through in life. It's like to know who you are, to love who you are, and to leave who you are with the people that you leave behind when you go. I feel like I'm at a point now where I think I found myself in a sense of direction. So even though I'm not where I want to be exactly, I know that there's purpose and that there's an end goal. You know what I'm saying? And people don't have that end goal.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like, I just haven't found myself completely, but as you said, like as in direction and purpose, definitely. But I definitely have like way more growing to do, like, because we've been conditioned. Like we got a lot to be like unpacking, me figuring out different parts of myself, and it really is a lot. But at least we're aware. Like you know, what I mean, we're becoming more aware of ourselves. And
Absolutely.
So I think I'm way closer than I was actually not too long ago. Once you, like you say, you become aware of life and you really only having one life and realizing the problems that you have, you know, internally and the things that you have to face, and you know that within itself is a step to find, like to come in full circle with you and your baggage and everything that you have. So for sure, definitely I started, and then with the you know when you
growing humans and you carrying two souls in your body,
it puts things into perspective where it's like, you know, I now have to fix this stuff because like you said, generational curses.
That was me with all. Yes,
you gotta fix it before it's passed on to the baby, or before you pass that energy over. You know, once the baby's born and stuff. So it's definitely.
Y'all want me to cry?
No, that's fine.
I just want to say shout out to our parents, because despite their lives and their experiences and the things that could have, you know, kept them from keeping us, they did keep us. And as single parents, for us too, and as a struggling young couple for her parents, and it's like, you know, we just thank God that we made it out and we have some sort of understanding about how this life works, because without them, no matter what, even if they was the dirtiest parents of all time, without them we wouldn't be here. The future, your children wouldn't be here. So it's like, you know, shout out to our parents and shout out to you two ladies for coming through and being on my YouTube. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think that's a wrap. We here to break cycles, you know.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, we starting right at home, and this is just the beginning. So, peace and love. Period.
Punctuation.
Like end of it all. Just stop.
Like fact. Like you usually use that like when you're like really seriously trying to get a point across.
I do it when I text and you say period.
No. Okay, lit. You said you know what lit is.
I think it means excited, right?
Kinda. Yeah. That's one definition.
Yeah, well, that's the bee's knees. How's that for old term?
Oh,
like
that's definitely going. That's definitely going. And then remind me to make sure that